Right, well, hello everybody, how are you? I hope you're all safe, I hope you are all well. You join me on a traffic-packed day in Dunstable. It's bloody horrible. And today, I'm going to try and get through this intro. I am going to be doing the Goofy Bastard Challenge. I know, right? Exciting times. So, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically a challenge where you have to go through 7 to 10 minute video with no editing. So there'll be no intro in terms of all the flashing music and stuff like that. And I'm pretty much going to get started with what I'm going to do now, because people cheat and use about 3 minutes on the intro. So, I think the best way that I am going to get through this challenge is by telling you a story. So, today is, I'm going to use some influence. He doesn't want to let me go. That's absolutely fine. So I'm on the partner's Lexmoto LSX 125. So I'm going to tell you a story from my CBT 125 days. So, when I was 16, I got my CBT, got myself a little 50cc ped. As soon as I was 17 and got the car license, I decided to up the ante with a 125, and then at 18 I went to university, and obviously nothing's cooler than going to university and you got yourself a motorbike, be it a 125 or whatever. So I go to uni, and I obviously go into student accommodation, which is quite the norm here for freshers. For those of you in America, when you go to college, I think you call it freshmen. Here, when we go to university, we just call them freshers. So I was a fresher, 18, fresh out of, 16 I left school, but fresh out of that world, and I was ready to target my degree. But like I say, I go into student accommodation, and I meet my flatmates. It's quite a daunting thing, isn't it, for those of you that have been to uni? You meet all these new people, and these are going to be the people you're living with. But I have a slight advantage. I've got a conversation starter. I have a motorbike. It's a good way, isn't it? It's a good way to get some conversation going, fellow 125er there. And yeah, what's happened is my bike, there's no parking at this student accommodation, so around the back you've got like this bin slot which is shared with a local Tesco. And so I've put the bike there because on the day of moving in, the maintenance manager at the university said, that's absolutely fine, you whack it there's no parking around here. Cool, no problem. You know, it's dark, it's got a camera, it's well out of the way from the main high street, the bike will be safe, I'll cover it, lock it, you name it. Normally not a problem for most sort of the first few weeks, especially Freshers Week. No one seemed to give a damn. But then as the lectures start sort of coming around thick and fast, all of a sudden I'm getting a letter through the door. And it's basically the accommodation team saying that some complaints have come in against me about the noise of my bike. So just to quickly sum it all up, the bike, it's a Yamaha YZF R125. I'd put the Akrapovic exhaust system on it, and it had been big bored to 150. So, you know, I won't lie to you, I was that guy. I was that guy on the 125 who tried to make it, you know, as powerful and as beastly as I could. It never works, obviously. They never go as quick as you want them to, as I'm discovering with my partners now. So yeah, you know, it was done up, and it was noisy, and it was obnoxiously noisy. And I accept that now, but obviously at that time I thought, what the hell? I don't care. I was very carefree when I was younger. You know, didn't really give a damn. Oh, that was a nasty bump. Didn't really give a damn what people thought, what people said. You know, the only opinion that matters is your own. I'm not speaking for every 17, 18, 19-year-old. I'm sure some of you were quite respectful, but no, it just really annoyed me, and so, you know, I start this mass hunt for who's complaining about me. Obviously, no one's going to tell me, which is, again, you know, understandable and acceptable. So yeah, I just decide, right then, I'm just going to keep my eyes peeled. So in the mornings, I'm like going out to my bike, I'm like starting it, I'm like looking through the windows, because if I see any head, that's the room, the floor I'm going to. And because I now know it's pissing people off and people have complained about me, that's it, you know. I just become this guy looking for trouble. So like I'm letting the bike warm up for like 5-10 minutes. You know, I normally would start the bike about 3 minutes or so, you know, just as I'm getting my gear on, and then boom, hit the road, ride to my lecture. Not a problem. But nah, I've decided, nah, this is it. I've had enough of these people. Who dares complain against the YZF? So I start literally when I'm like leaving the place, I'm revving the, you know, I'm making this bike work, you know. We're leaving the student accommodation, bouncing off the limiter, and it's only, oh, I don't know, it's only so many feet, you know, it's nothing. But I'm in first, second, whatever, you know, getting it right to the red line, and I just don't care because I'm like, yeah, take that. I think it was students who didn't have lectures that morning, and obviously if I have a lecture at say 9 o'clock, I'm leaving the accommodation latest at 8:30. And I suppose if you haven't got lectures and that goes off, yeah, you know, it's going to wake you up. But welcome to the real world, kids. Anyway, so these complaints continue. I eventually get called into a meeting, and the student accommodation team has literally said to me, we think it'd be better if you moved out. Now, I've just snapped at this, and there's been a row and there's been some words. You know, I've tried to sell them, you know, I ain't going nowhere, What are you going to do? All this malarkey, thinking I'm some sort of bad man. But in the end, they issue me a letter. It's like a 2-week notice. And in that 2 weeks, I made life for people at that accommodation hell. So I thought, you know what? If they're going to complain, and I'm already gone, there's nothing that can go worse. You know, I'm already having to sort out another place to live. This is in my fresher year, by the way, so I'm new to the city, I'm new to the uni, I'm just new to everything. Thankfully, I was part of the football team at the uni. Some guys there are helping me out, finding me a place. In the end, I've got a place all lined up and all sorted, so it's all gravy. But I've still got 2 more weeks at this place. So for that 2 weeks, I started, because our accommodation had this like disabled sort of ramp access, which was obviously really nice. So it didn't have stairs, because I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't need stairs, I suppose. We could probably make all these places disabled access, although maybe then it gets a bit cluttered up. So yeah, in the end, I start using that to oh, I need that lane, sorry mate. Yeah, I need, that's the problem with no editing, you have to put all that in. So yeah, in the end, I start using that access to put the bike up there and get it into my student accommodation. Thankfully, I was on the ground floor, so it was really easy for me. Just get a flatmate to keep the door open, and I basically rode my bike into my flat. I put it in my kitchen. All my flatmates were cool about it, so you know, that's really nice and saved me a lot of hassle for those 2 weeks. And basically, whenever I had a lecture, I'd get it out of my flat, get it into the main hall, and I would just rev it. I shouldn't laugh about it because it's pathetic. I know, but I was young and you know, very opinionated. I felt like everyone was just out to get me. You know what it's like. So do forgive me. But I thought, you know what, that might have just covered the 7 to 10 minutes. It's a funny little story of my rebellious youth, not just fighting the system, being the university, the accommodation team, but fighting my own people. I decided, no, I'm above all this. I'm going to win this argument, and I think I did all right. But yeah, guys, that's the story. No editing. Big shout out to Goofy Bastard for setting this challenge. I've seen a few people do it, and they've been excellent. So really well done to anyone who has tackled it. It is a lot harder than you think it is. You got to throw in all your mistakes, etc, etc. So it's not ideal, but hey ho. Something to keep us on our toes, isn't it? The editing process is going to be really easy. Start, finish, cut, boom. So yeah, big shout out to him. Go check out Goofy Bastard's channel. I'll leave links to it, of course, as always. Guys, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you're new to this. I'd really much appreciate that. I'm in a race to 500 against Curious Goose, who is really starting to get on my heels. He's I think he's past the 300 mark by now, easily. He's got to be. So yeah, definitely help me out as much as you can. Like the video if you want, and if you're not going to do any of the previous steps, at least comment, because I do love to hear from you. and I do reply to all my comments. Right, well, I'm going to get on with my day. Today it's the first ever service for my partner's Lexmoto LSX 125. So big days, big days. Hopefully after today I'll be able to get a bit more speed out of her. And that'll be exciting, won't it? So I'm looking forward to getting home quicker than what I'm getting there at the moment this morning. But it's not a problem. Anyway guys, I have yabbered on probably far too much. And so, I will thank you for watching. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Cheers guys.